What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. I got some big stuff for you guys here in this video that I want to show you here. Take a look here on my screen. Okay, I got three big changes to Social Security that you probably didn't know about. I'm going to show you guys that here in this video. Also, I'm seeing major headlines here like, quote, "We're heading for a Social Security apocalypse." Social Security apocalypse. And when you see headlines like that, that's pretty scary. It's pretty significant. And honestly, that's something I believe too as well. So let's jump right in. Let's dive right in. And I'll give you the details here. And, I'm all about facts on this channel. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know this. I like to show you guys the details here right on the screen. And Social Security is something that I really I'm interested in as well, but also I believe in because, right now about 50% of seniors go into retirement with no additional savings at all, and they only rely on Social Security. Thank God for Social Security even being created because it was, well, only about a lifetime ago that there was no Social Security program at all. In fact, me and my wife were watching the FDR program here. It was recorded on like the History Channel or something. We recorded it, and we're actually watching it right now. Very, very interesting story here about how it actually kind of goes over the Pearl Harbor incident and stuff like that, and FDR's life. He was had the problem with his legs and the adversities that he went through to become president. And then the war happened and he created Social Security and all the stuff that he had to go through to become president. What an extraordinary life, right? And created Social Security through all this stuff here. And here we are today trying to protect Social Security as well. And what if he wouldn't have became president? We might not even have Social Security here today. But now Social Security is running out of money and we're seeing major headlines like this. We're headed for a Social Security apocalypse. And this says here, millions of American workers are concerned about what kind of financial safety net they will have when they retire, as fears grow for the future of Social Security. A huge majority, 88% of Americans, are counting on Social Security to see them through retirement, which basically means that only about 12% of Americans would not really need Social Security to get by. They have enough savings without Social Security for retirement, but 88% of Americans need Social Security to get by. Only 12% are financially secure without Social Security in retirement, saying that the payments will be extremely or reasonably important to them, according to a poll conducted exclusively on behalf of Newsweek. The same poll found that a majority, 60%, are very concerned that their payments will be reduced before they retire, which could happen multiple ways, like they raise the retirement age, they have to cut the Social Security payments to make solvency problem, fixed, etc. Another 36% say they were fairly or slightly concerned, and only 4% of those polled were not at all worried. That sounds like a Social Security massive problem or apocalypse could be coming. The survey was conducted by Redfield and Wilton Strategies. Americans are right to be worried, analysts say. The fragile financial state of Social Security programs was laid bare in the annual Social Security and Medicare Trustees Report back in March. The report forecasted that Social Security Trust Fund will be depleted in about a decade and is predicted to only cover 77% of benefits starting in 2033, which would mean a 23% reduction to Social Security paychecks. So think about that, a 23% cut to your Social Security check if you're getting it now. And if you're not getting it now, you could still picture a 23% reduction. Fixing the program has become a top talking point ahead of the 2024 election. Well, President Joe Biden and even former President Donald Trump has pledged to rebuff any efforts to cut benefits. But if they don't raise the retirement age or, do something, you bring in more money for Social Security program or, tax the rich, or if they don't do anything, if they just leave Social Security alone, if they don't touch the Social Security programs, or same thing with the Medicare, the Medicare, the hospital portion of Medicare will actually run out of money in 5 years. Okay. If they do nothing to Social Security, if they just leave it alone, you're going to have a 23% cut to your benefits. See the problem? Both Trump and Biden have pledged, oh, we're not going to touch it. We're going to do nothing. And this has actually been criticized by both Republicans and Democrats. So if they just leave it alone, expect a 23% cut to your Social Security paychecks. See the problem? They can't do nothing. And if 4 more years roll by with the next president, or remember, the next election is actually about a year and a half away. So picture 5.5 more years. This is a problem. And every year that goes by, the Social Security Trust Fund, the amount in the Social Security funds, keeps going down little by little, or actually a lot by a lot, because there's billions of dollars in there. It's going down by millions or billions of dollars every month. Social Security Trust Fund's been running out of money every year. Okay, so the fund is dwindling every year, and the closer and closer it gets to zero, the more drastic the changes they need to make. They actually needed to make these changes like 10 years ago. Remember when they raised the retirement age? Under the Reagan administration, when former President Reagan, whatever, remember, presidents retain the title of president, whether they're former president or not. He raised the retirement age. Remember, Congress actually did it, and he signed it into law. Remember, he's not a bad guy, whether you are for him or against him. Raising the retirement age was actually a good thing for you guys, because if they didn't do that, Social Security may have already run out of money now. Okay. I know you might look at this as a cut to your benefits, but if they didn't do that back then, Social Security may have already run out of money right now. So these are things that they have to do to keep the program running. And this brings me to 3 changes to Social Security you probably didn't know about going on right now. So take a look at this. Number 1, workers are being taxed on more earnings to fund the Social Security program. Social Security's main funding source is payroll tax revenue. In fact, it's a decline in payroll tax revenue that has the program's trustees worried about benefit cuts in a little bit more than 10 years, a 23% reduction. As baby boomers exit the workforce, they're going to stop paying into the system. Remember, baby boomers is just a large percentage of the population that is retiring. And while new workers will come in as baby boomers leave, the number of workers exiting the labor force is expected to exceed the number of people available to replace them. That's going to force Social Security to tap its trust funds to keep up with scheduled benefits until they run dry, at which point benefit cuts may have to happen. Meanwhile, this year, there's a higher wage cap than last year's Social Security purposes. In 2022, earnings of up to $147,000 were subject to payroll taxes. Now, earnings of up to $160,200 can be taxed to fund Social Security. The reason it's up to that amount, because that's the maximum Social Security amount you can get per year. You've basically hit the maximum. Okay. Number 2, qualifying for benefits is getting harder. It's a big myth that everyone is eligible for Social Security once they get older. But remember, you have to have those credits, 40 work credits in your lifetime, just to get the minimum amount of Social Security, right? Remember, it's how much you pay in for Social Security. SSI is different, but remember, SSI really pays, what is it? The maximum amount is 914 or something per month. That's not a lot of money. In reality, you need to pay into Social Security to qualify for benefits down the line. Social Security eligibility hinges on accruing 40 work credits in your lifetime and a maximum of 4 credits per year. And the value of a work credit can change from one year to the next. In 2022, It took $1,510 in earnings to earn a single work credit. This year, it now takes $1,640 in earnings. Number three, experts are anticipating a lower cost of living adjustment in 2024. And this is going to be a big one. Seniors on Social Security got a massive 8.7% COLA cost of adjustment living at the start of 2023 this year. That was the fourth largest cost of living adjustment ever, and the largest in over 40 years. I think it was 41 or 42 years. That COLA has no doubt helped many beneficiaries gain some buying power back. But next year's COLA isn't looking like it will be anywhere as close. COLAs are based on changes to the Consumer Price Index wage earners and clerical workers. That's a mouthful, the CPIW. Last year's rampant inflation caused the index to soar, but this year's inflation hasn't been as extreme. It's based on the third quarter of the year's inflation. Recently, the nonpartisan Senior Citizens League estimate says that they think it will be about 2.7%. That's a far cry from the 8.7% we got last year. That's like a third. So prepare for a lot less of a increase in your Social Security. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here on this and everything happening going forward with Social Security changes and what they're doing to try to fix this. They really should try to pass something this year before next year's election cycle, because if they don't do it now before the election cycle, it's less likely that they'll do it next year before the election. And then a new president comes in, and it's going to be a whole nightmare. And then a whole another year or two rolls by. Now is probably the best time to do it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't yet, click the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here on our YouTube channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, thank you for liking and share these videos with anybody that needs to hear this information. Here's a video about seniors are in big trouble because of this, and the Fed just warned that the next new Great Depression is coming in this video. Click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.